Today, a public watchdog group announced that they have filed a second lawsuit against the San Onofre nuclear power plant.
And here to talk more about the need for another lawsuit is Nina Barbiers, and you're a public watchdog member, board member, and also Charles Langley is with us. He is the executive director. Thank you for being here. Let's talk about the urgency of this lawsuit and what's it supposed to do. Charles?
Well, what we're trying to do is stop the ongoing burial of nuclear waste 108 feet from the beach. This is deadly stuff for 250,000 years, and we'd like it to stop, and we think we've found a way to do it with this lawsuit. Nina,
why don't you tell us how the lawsuit's going to accomplish that goal?
Well, first of all, we only have one chance to get this right. And the lawsuit has been brought to stop Edison from starting the burial, the resumption of the burial. Edison needed one final permit in order to proceed with their game plan, and that permit required that they had an environmental impact report from the State Lands Commission approved. However, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission had not yet released their results of their inspection from the accident last summer. And they weren't going to do that for 4 days. And so we feel that the State Lands Commission was presumptuous and skeptical and voting again for a environmental impact report before the environmental results were really in from the NRC.
You filed this lawsuit on Monday, which was Earth Day, and then today you announced it, and it's the anniversary of Chernobyl.
It is.
Talk about the reason for the timing and the possible health threat that could happen here in San Diego County and Orange County, too.
Well, we're at a critical juncture. We only have one chance to get this right. We had a meeting last night with Congressman Levin's task force, and we're talking about the risks that were never properly assessed. You know, when they closed the plants, they said the plant is closed, the risk is low. But that was completely different than the risk of bearing 3.6 million pounds of radioactive nuclear waste on an earthquake fault in the middle of millions of people. And that risk has never been properly assessed.
If you look at Chernobyl, 4,000 people died just from the Chernobyl accident. Each one of these 72 canisters at San Onofre has as much cesium-137, which is the really bad stuff, as was released during the entire Chernobyl disaster. So, yeah, it's a significant public health risk. It's a significant public health problem.
So for people who aren't familiar with the nuclear power plant, there are these spent nuclear fuel pools, right? And you're trying to prevent them from tearing these pools down.
Right.
Because if they tear them down and then there's another problem, it could be disastrous.
That's right. These cans have very thin walls. They're 5/8 of an inch thick, stainless steel. And if they crack, there's no real safe way to move them. The safest way to deal with a broken can or a nuclear disaster or a terrorist attack or whatever happens at San Onofre would be to do it underwater in that spent fuel pool. So we'd like to see that preserved.
We will be following this lawsuit closely. Nina, Charles, thanks so much for joining us today. Appreciate your being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.